Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey guys.
Everybody, you are tuned in to taking control of your health.
Woo woo.
And I'm your man, Cat Fitness, and this is my co-host,
Kenya Asa. I'm at Ruby Envy and at RubyEnvyWellness.com.
Man, we have a very special guest for you today. This person is dear to my heart. I would even say he's almost like a brother.
Even more than that.
A stepbrother.
No, stepbrothers don't be liking each other sometimes.
No.
Well,
A soul brother.
A soul
Ooh, I like
brother.
that. I like that.
Definitely a soul brother. This is my man, Monk. He's a 3-time natural physique pro. He's a meditation instructor.
Pro what? Because I don't think people don't know.
Bodybuilder.
Bodybuilder? Oh, okay. And some people don't know
Bodybuilder.
that. You can't. Everybody
Physique
don't.
bodybuilder.
Exactly.
I
everybody
apologize.
can't.
We
You
don't know.
you
Us
gotta
lay people don't
break
know
it down.
the
I got you.
words.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
He's a newly found author. He has a book
Did you
coming
get
out.
my book?
I haven't read it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Can I get the title of your book, please?
It's called Love Over Fear: A Guide to Peace and Purpose.
Ooh.
Love it. Okay, another author, because I'm an author as well. So it's nice to have a fellow author on the panel.
So today, Kenya has come up with this amazing topic that we're going to
Put me
discuss.
on the spot, y'all.
Blast.
Putting me on blast.
With Monk, that we're going to have this amazing conversation. Guys, feel free to comment so we get this discussion going, the dialogue between us and you guys while we have you guys live right now. But go ahead, take it over, Kenya.
So what we decided to talk about today, you guys, is feeling powerless in our wellness journey. And I know that that's not always something we like to talk about. It's not really it's not necessarily an uplifting topic. We want to keep it light anyway, but I've noticed with a lot of my clients, and because a lot of them are kind of relationship coaching clients or mental health clients, that having a healthy relationship with food or an unhealthy relationship with food can seep into all aspects of your life, right? It can seep into if you don't feel powerful within yourself, and just like me and Monk were just talking before we came live, if you don't have a healthy relationship with your body and yourself, how can you have a healthy relationship with anybody else, right? So what's your experience with that, Monk?
Well,
Go ahead.
I was going to give you a starting point.
Okay.
Okay.
So, start them off how you even got to this plant-based journey.
Yes.
Because just like me, it wasn't your traditional, you weren't trying to be plant-based.
I didn't know what a vegan was.
Exactly. So, kind of express that.
I think all of it stems back to healing yourself. The journey back to health.
Yeah.
Like not just physical health, but mental health and spiritual health.
Yeah.
So for me, I was sick. I was alcoholic, and I was killing myself. Physical signs everywhere that says if you don't stop, you're gonna be out of here. So I don't know why meditation crossed my mind. Nobody told me about it. I didn't know anything about it. And some said, because I tried everything else. I tried the streets. I was raised in organized religion. That was fearful for me. I think that's why I went the other way. And then some said try meditation. So I looked it up, and basically it said sit down.
Be
Sit
still.
down and watch.
Don't move.
Right? Sit
Yeah.
down
Breathe.
and watch.
Sure.
So this started the healing process. This thing, and what people don't understand, everything as far as anything starts in the mind. Everything in this room was created in someone's mind first. So everything's created in the mind first. And what a lot of people don't understand is,
But that's a powerful thing that you're telling our viewers right now, because that means they're responsible. They have to take responsibility
absolutely.
of their actions
You
and their
can't-
reality
you
and
can't
what they're
change
manifesting.
anything unless you're responsible for where you're at or what got you to that point.
But we've been raised to think that we're not responsible. Things happen to us.
Right.
And
Life happens to you.
Ooh, you're
Exactly.
saying
You
so
did-
much.
You just catching
Let's
a bad
open it
hand.
up. Let's-
Yeah,
if
you
we're
just
gonna talk
catching a
about
bad-
it, yeah.
You're just catching
Right.
a bad hand.
Yeah.
So, as I continue forward with this meditation, I think things started to change. And from before I sat down, I made a decision to quit drinking, but I didn't know how to cope because that was my crutch for
Right.
20 plus years, right?
So 3 years for me at the end of this month. 3 years, no alcohol, y'all. And
I won't be a
just-
part of that conversation because I had a cocktail last has. But anyway.
But it was something that, you know, I started at a very young age as well. I started drinking probably at the age of 15. Well, sipping on different stuff. And just, you know, when parents are having parties and you kind of get a hold of a wine cooler or something like that, probably, you know, 12 or 13. But, you know, drinking hard alcohol, like I remember my freshman year drinking hard, like E&J,
Wow.
like, you know,
Irk and
Paul
jerk is
Masson.
what you called it.
Yeah. Paul Masson,
Wow,
all that
wow,
kind of
wow.
stuff.
Mad Dog.
Yep.
Man.
Thunderbird, all that.
Yeah.
Old cheap
And
stuff.
Right.
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just
Oh, no, hey, anytime you want to jump in, you
Right.
jump in.
Okay.
So as I continued on with this meditation, I started to heal myself, and it was coming in layers. And I was very angry that I couldn't still do what I used to do to make me feel better, because I knew I had to stop. So I had to work with it. I had to look at my fears. I had to face the demons. I had to do all that. And every time I sat down, I did that. Right? So you start to process things. You start to heal, and you start to let things go, and you start to purge yourself. And so I continued forward, and not only did I start to heal myself, but I started to make a connection to life, and that's how the vegan thing came along. So 3 years into it, I was asked a question, eating a vegetarian omelet, are you a vegetarian? And something said, you know, say yes. And I said yes, and why did I say that?
Wow.
But then I looked it up, because I've been meditating every day for 3 years, and it says you basically got reconnected to life, and you didn't want to do any harm.
Right.
So let's fast forward to now, or maybe last year, and I've tried to think, well, why did this meditation really have so much transformative value? Why is that? Why did I change everything I did? Why did I look at everything different? Why were all my beliefs different? And what happens is when you meditate, you start to change your core beliefs. And this is huge. The reason why people have such a hard time doing something, because deep down inside, their core belief about whatever it is different. So there's conflict.
Right.
So with the experience with your family member you were talking about,
Right.
she had from
So programming, the
from-
programming
from-
that
yes,
you
from
initially
birth to
did.
7
Uh-huh.
years old is where we get what we think about ourselves, about life, about we get our diet introduced, our religion, everything, right? So if you were growing up, say someone had a weight issue, well, whatever you felt about that, like you weren't worthy, you're always going to be fat. People are adults are saying, "Why are you so fat?" Whatever. This is going to be your core belief about what it is. So when you get older and you try to do something different, deep down inside, there's a voice that's saying, "No, you're fat. You can't do this."
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have to change be a completely different person to
Right.
change how we move in life.
So what's
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I think that when you start introducing things, and I'm just going to break it down for the meditation layman, right? Because I remember one time, seriously, 20 something years ago, I had meditated before. You know, I'm from Berkeley, so I've grown up with a lot of.
Really?
I know. I've grown up with a lot of meditation, knowing a lot about meditation and yoga and vegan diets, et cetera, et cetera. And one time I was going through a lot of emotional stuff. I was going through some relationship issues. Like this was probably like 24 years ago. And
so you're a 2?
yeah, 2.5 though. Yes. And so I said, I'm going to meditate, you know. And then I sat down at my little altar that I had in my room, and I was meditating, and it was torture. And I cried, and it's scary because connecting to your deep inner feelings is very scary. And I think a lot of times in our culture, and often in the Black culture, we are not encouraged to look within. We're encouraged to look without because we're raised in organized religion, et cetera, et cetera. And I didn't know that I could look inward, you know, because I'm somebody who prays and stuff like that. But I found that sitting with myself and just breathing and doing some breathing exercises can be very painful. And that's hard. That's
Absolutely.
scary. That's scary. I have a friend who will not meditate for that reason.
I'm going to tell you why. So everybody that has the overactive mind or whatever, and a really busy mind, right? So they say, I can't meditate, my mind's too busy. But the truth of the matter is their mind is always that busy. They're just taking a look at it now. And what they see is they don't want to, it's scary. They don't want to process this. They don't want to deal with the truth or reality. So it's very anxious time them sitting down there. So they'd rather
Absolutely.
not do it
Yeah.
and just work with distractions like they've been doing the rest of the whole life.
That's our culture.
Whatever it is, and this is how addictions become addictions, because
Yeah.
you need a distraction.
That's our culture.
So
That is our culture.
Every addiction is just a distraction from dealing with you.
Yes, yes. It's just like people that say I'm not limber enough to do yoga. Like if you did yoga, you would be limber. You know, it's the same with sitting with your mind. You know,
When they say my mind is too busy to meditate, I always tell them like this.
Yeah.
That's like a severely overweight person saying I'm too fat to go to the gym.
right, right. Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It's like that's where you need to be.
right.
Exactly.
You
Sure,
know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
sure.
if your mind is that busy, this
You
some
need to slow
processing
everything down.
that needs to happen.
But I think that that's all kind of in alignment with this topic, which is powerlessness. You know,
Absolutely.
because we do feel like, you know, it takes no effort to sit on my couch and watch the Real Housewives or whatever
Right.
and get into
You don't have
somebody
to think.
else's business.
You don't have to
Correct.
But
It's
that-
all about distraction.
Mhm.
But that's how, even now, think about how many distractions we have. We have these devices.
Oh, even
that
more now. So
constantly
it's in your hand.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
constantly distracting
yeah,
us.
yeah.
We're distracted by the way society's constructed. We have to worry about bills. We have to worry about food. We have to worry about
Violence.
all these things.
So,
right?
I'm gonna tell you something else too. We all have or had at least some addictive behaviors.
Mhm.
But what people don't understand is you can be like addicted to thinking.
Yeah.
Like you can't. There's people that can't sit in a room for 5 minutes without just thinking about everything. They can't just
Yes.
be.
Yes.
They
yes,
can't
that's
just
true.
be present.
Yeah, totally. And I used to be a ballet dancer, and that's kind of what started my eating disorder when I was younger, right? You know, that's
Because ballet, you
another-
gotta be this or that or
you,
this size. or
you have to be,
whatever.
you have to be super skinny, and ballet is very you know, European oriented, and so I didn't have that kind of body type and all that other stuff, so I was struggling, and I'd always been struggling. I remember being 12 years old and doing a dance thing, going, oh my god, now I've got boobs and I gotta strap these things down, and it's a whole thing.
Right,
You know, but it's all about control, and I found a way to, a negative way to take control of my body through eating disorders, but other people, due to that whole mindset of powerlessness, won't do that. They're doing it a whole opposite thing, which is nothing, because if you do nothing, then
I
you're
can't
not
be accountable.
responsible.
Yeah.
Correct.
There's no accountability
Correct.
at that point. Oh, it's just, this is how it
So-
is.
It's the way I am.
So I used to not, because organized religion, I had a really different view of what God is, right? And I totally went away from using that, even on my healing journey. But now I have a different perception about what God is, and it's not outside of us, right? It's no one to look to or for. And what I say with meditation is you're just connecting to God
Yeah.
or your higher self or your
Yes.
source.
Yeah.
So when the mind comes down, then you can hear the whispers and the directions on which way you need to go.
That's right.
With the overactive, busy, loud mind, you can't hear anything. It's just everywhere. So when it starts to settle, they say meditation is like if you scoop a glass of pond water, you know, pond water, dirty pond water, how it is, how dirty it is,
Yeah.
and swirling around. But if you set it down,
Everything will
Everything
settle.
settles.
Everything will settle.
So it could be busy at first, and it might take years for your mind to really start to calm down. But when it calms down, the clarity that you get, the direction that you get, you no longer have to walk in the dark. Your relationships start to change, so you start to raise your vibration. That's
That's
another
right.
thing.
That's right.
And different people. I used to be back in the day where it didn't matter where I was at. I could have been at the Dalai Lama's house, but I'm gonna find that drug dealer and that dude that goes out. It's gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna connect
Yep.
somehow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
now I can be in the hood.
So you're talking
and I'm
about the
gonna
law
find
of
this here.
attraction.
The law of attraction.
That's what it is.
So whatever you're vibrating at, if your experiences are not good,
Right.
if you don't like your experiences, if you don't like the people you hang around with, if everybody's shady,
Yeah.
you got to check yourself. 'cause
Like
that's what
attracts
you're-
like.
Exactly.
Like
You're never
attracts
gonna
like.
find a healer in the midst of people trying to tear people down. You're
Right.
not gonna do it.
Right. Right.
So, if I'm on this healing process, what do I do to, you know, we was talking about this, how your environment impacts your health, right? So you're saying like, if I'm around people that are doing things that I'm not wanting to do anymore in my life, how do I separate myself from
You don't
that?
have to separate yourself. You do that inner work, they will go.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
They
You don't
will
have
not
to
be
try.
around you.
They will not want to be around
No.
you. They will not
No.
want to contact you. Whatever you're giving off.
Why do you think that
the light
is?
is too bright
Uh-huh.
for the
Yeah.
darkness?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever your circle's gonna change.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
The inner work's gonna create your outer reality,
Yeah.
and
That's
that's
the truth.
Period.
And you
Why
know
do you
what-
think we met?
Yeah. No. I want you to say that because it's so funny because so many people that I know from my past when we cross paths again,
Nothing in common.
but no. They tend to reflect why they I'm trying so hard. I want to go plant-based and this and that, and they see something within themselves that they can't quite express, but seeing you in the flesh makes them reflect within themselves.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yo?
Yeah.
I think it does too, because I think a lot of people in our culture, and just a lot of people even here in the Bay Area, they don't think that they can be connected in that way. They don't feel connected to, like, I think that some of being plant-based is just wanting to be more connected to the earth, right? Wanting to be more connected to people, people in general and life in general, without you creating death by being part of that cycle, right? And so I think that seeing somebody like you who is vegan and openly vegan and also healthy is inspiring but equally scary.
Yeah.
And
Because
because
you have
I
to
think
ask
that-
yourself, why can't I do it? If I know this person, we
Sure.
grew up together, and we came from the same environment, he was able to step away. I can do the exact same thing. I just choose not to.
Well, and I don't think it's always necessarily a choice. I think what we were talking about with the history of soul food, or as I call it, slavery
Conditioned
food.
beliefs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
conditioned beliefs, but also an attachment to a culture that we did not create for ourselves.
Exactly.
We did not create the culture of getting the scraps from the slave owner's table.
Yeah.
That is what we were forced to eat,
Uh-huh.
and now we continue to eat
Or
that way.
celebrate with it.
Yeah, that's correct.
With pig
Continue to eat.
intestines.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Continued. Let me tell you, my dad lives right next door to me, and that is
Smell.
exactly what he made for Thanksgiving this year. And I remember when I was young, I'd be like, "Ooh, chitlins!" Now I'm just, But I understand where that comes from. But then my question is, how long do we hold on to that? Because that's not actually our culture when our
Exactly.
culture was forced upon us,
I
and
think-
it kills us.
I think I know. I mean, the problem is, in my opinion, and all this is just my opinion through my life experiences, everybody tries to work backwards. So, I know I need to eat better.
Right.
Let me change my diet. I know I need to do this. Let me change that. Let me change that. But they're not changing at the core. So they're always gonna, when pressure is applied, they're always gonna go back to what they know. And at their core, this is what they believe. So the diet's just gonna last for a little while. It's just a diet.
Yeah.
From,
It's a Band-Aid on a broken leg.
Right.
That's
For me,
correct.
changing on the inside started to change what I do on the outside. So now at the core, I'm a certain way, and then it just naturally it progresses naturally
Right.
into healing yourself and
Right.
moving in a different way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you start out here and go, I need to work out, and you know you do, and you get on there and it's like, then after a week you're burnt out. That's like the resolutions, New Year resolutions.
Yeah.
They don't work, even though your intentions are good.
That's right.
Right.
Because it's a lifestyle change.
Your subconscious mind doesn't believe what you consciously want to do. There's conflict. When you meditate, they link up. They get on the same page.
That's right.
So now you're moving downhill in the right direction. There's not this.
Right. And meditation, I'm a big fan of meditation. One of the reasons why I'm a big fan of meditation, sorry, honey, my husband meditates. And when he does not, he is not as easy to live with.
Is there a
Like
bus
he's
around
a-
here? Because
right,
it's
right,
somehow
yeah,
you're
yeah,
throwing somebody under it.
I am. I'm throwing my husband under the bus. No, he
on the bus, y'all.
he's wonderful and he knows it. But what I do have to say is that meditation is so healing that when somebody
Yeah,
is a
I mean,
meditator and then doesn't do it for whatever reason because they're busy or they're traveling for work or whatever, and like those are just the excuses. You can
Right, right,
you
right.
can meditate anytime.
Anywhere,
Yeah,
anytime.
anywhere, anytime. Or for whatever reason they're distracted away from themselves into something else. You can tell the difference. And it's a critical difference, and I feel the same way about myself. You know, like if I'm running around, like, you know, just yesterday, I literally did not even have a moment to think because I'm busy with all these things. And I said to myself, I need to take, even if it's 2 minutes before I launch into all this other stuff I have to do.
So listen to this. You
Yeah.
heard this saying before.
Yes.
If you ain't got time to meditate for 20 minutes, meditate for an hour.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I've never heard that, and I love it.
Because that means that's what you need.
Oh,
right?
yes.
It's
Yes.
slow. Meditation slows down life. Period. Right? So all this stuff it's like in sports when you're in the zone, everything is just going. You're
flows.
unconscious with it.
Yeah.
Well, you can be that way in life too.
That's right.
Everything is flowing.
Yeah.
Everything all the time, right? And that's why when people say I'm too busy to do this and
That's
do that,
right.
it's just because they're not prioritized.
Right.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
If you get your state of being, and most of the busyness is all here. It's not that they
it's
have
all
to be.
here.
You can't be in 2 places at once. So
Right.
how are you busy?
Right.
You're just here. You're just present. Right.
Right.
So, I mean, I know when we first met, we kind of had the same kind of practice. It's like when you first wake up in the morning, you start investing into yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, before you do anything else, you start investing into yourself and grounding yourself. And then I think that allows you to get into that zone, which you're talking about, where you're not trying to do anything.
You're not
Everything
forcing
just-
anything.
You're not forcing anything. It just
Right,
flows to
right,
you. And it's a
right.
natural gravitation because the energy that you set for the day now is resonating throughout your experience.
It's that light. You got to shine your light every single day.
Yeah.
And when you meditate and you get up with gratitude and all these other things, right?
Uh-huh.
You stay connected to the light. So the more you don't do things like this, the farther away from the light you get, the darker everything seems.
Right. Yeah.
If you stay
Totally.
connected to that light, that's what we are, light, God, source, whatever it is. If you
Yeah.
stay connected every day, it's there always. When you get so far away from it, depression and all this other stuff sets in, you just don't know who you are. It's like someone put a blanket over your life.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's
They
right.
covered it up. It's still there, but you're not doing whatever it takes to stay connected to that.
Right.
True
right.
self.
I actually wrote a little bit about that in my book as well, and I think I delved a little bit even more into it in the very last chapter. I kind of sprinkled it through, and then I kind of talked a little bit about that in the last chapter. And what I want to ask you, as someone who does all of this, is first steps. What would you consider to be first steps for someone who does feel maybe disconnected and overwhelmed and doesn't have enough
Okay.
time?
Okay. Well, the first step, like I said, I think people work backwards.
Right.
So you got to get that inner work going. Anything you want to do on the outside is not going to happen unless you get this right.
Okay.
Right?
How do we do it?
And just consistency. Even if it's 2 minutes a day.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Even if it's a guided one.
Yeah.
Just to get your body in this position and your mind in this position before you leave the house, your whole day is going to be different.
Do you have some meditation apps that you like online?
Insight Timer is my favorite one. And you can also connect almost like you
So
have
it's an
friends.
app called Insight Time.
Insight.
Insight Timer.
SIGHT.
It's one that you guys can use.
And you can find me on Monk under there in Oakland, California. You can find me on there too. So if you want to connect, and you can send messages to each other.
Oh,
and
cool.
See, and it logs all your stuff. And then they got 2,500 guided ones, whatever it is. But just
Creating that
practicing
routine.
sitting down. That's the only thing you need to do at first, because this is setting in a habit, and this habit's going to create new habits. So why not start where it's going to create new habits, right? Why work backwards and struggle with everything? This is the habit that you need to have. First thing I do when I hit the ground, gratitude. Second thing I do, get my pillows ready. It doesn't matter. And don't
Yep.
say you don't have time, because I used to get up at 3:30 just to get it in before I left. So I at least do a half hour before I leave the house. Gratitude, first thing you got up, it's an amazing day. Get your pillows ready. Take a few deep breaths, get comfortable. Whatever you need, if you say something before you start,
Right,
you say something. You got some affirmations, say
Right,
those affirmations,
right.
right? And then get into that space and just be,
Yeah.
right?
And it's lovely. Like my child meditates which
Mine
is
too.
really cool.
Yeah,
so my
yeah.
kid is 10.
It's so funny that
Yeah.
kids naturally can get into that space just so easy.
They're connected. All you gotta do is show them.
Yes, because I always say that they're a lot closer to
They're who they are.
who they are
Uh-huh.
than we are because they just got here.
Oh, check
you
this
know?
out. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes the world is it's a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're born exactly how you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You got some adults that know better
Yeah.
or don't know better,
Yeah.
conditioning you
Yeah.
and your surroundings, everything. You get made into something else, and then the journey and the goal in life is to get back to that state where you came in.
Exactly. After you
Get back to your true
Yes.
self.
After you got
After you made
confused,
all
you have
these
to remember.
things, yeah, you got to remember.
Yes,
And then you
yes.
start working your way back to that.
Right.
So you're here, you go way out, and now you're going back.
Right.
Now you're going back, and then when you get to that point, it's like, oh,
Boom.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
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 And then you help others, or point others, writing books, doing seminars, doing speaking events, to just give them some information that might,
Spark.
one little spark. Okay, I know what I need to do.
Plant that seed and
Right.
allow that
That's
to
it.
develop within themselves.
Healers, heal people, hurt people, hurt people.
Right.
So if you're not doing healing and you're hurting, you got to think about what the cause and effect, what you're doing to the people
karma.
around you,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
So heal people. We're all healers. We went on that healing journey,
Yeah.
and now we're gonna share it with other people. So maybe something might click in them. One word, words are so powerful.
Oh, yes, they are.
When someone said today, this really intelligent young man, he said, "I'm get my PhD, and it's pretty much a lock in. But if I don't, I'm like, don't even put that
He already
out there.
discredited what he was
Don't
going to
even
do.
put, don't. If I don't, if I
Yeah.
can't," he said.
Yeah.
I said, "You
Yeah.
still say that word?
Right.
That word shouldn't even be in the dictionary.
Uh,
I can't. Be careful. Your subconscious is recording everything.
Yes, it is.
So even if you
Yes,
say,
it is.
joking around, I'm old, I'm this, I'm that,
Right.
your subconscious is going, oh yeah, you are.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that drives me crazy.
People use that word so freely.
all the time.
Look, I just turned
freely.
50, and I have people that come up to me and say they're old, and I find out how old they, and they ain't even as old as me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I had this conversation. I was on a girl trip recently, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine. Just in case you're watching, yeah, I'm about to throw you under the bus too. So we were having this whole
No names,
conversation.
no
We must
names.
get a bus garage.
I know, right? And she kind of, is this beautiful, intelligent, wonderful, amazing person, but she sometimes has this old lady kind of behavior, and I said something about it, and then we all kind of started this discussion about it. And if you are just, because you're 50 or 52 or whatever, and you have this whole mindset that, okay, boom, I turned 50. Now it's like
It's downhill now.
It's downhill. We got the AARP.
Oh, I got my
we
card.
Yeah, see,
They sent it in the mail.
No,
Before
when-
I was 50, they was like, here, take
right?
this out, old timer.
No, they sent me right before I turned 50. They start sending me stuff.
I was
I'm
getting,
ripping.
I was
I'm
getting
rip-
packages.
Okay. Oh no, I'm ripping it up.
Man.
I'm like, I know they are not messing with me, and I'm
Listen,
not even 50 yet.
Even on social media, it said something about they sent. You know how they have the sponsors? The paid things. They
Yes,
go to?
yeah, sure.
It said 49. It was clicking to 50, talking
Oh,
about something old. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, I'm never gonna be wearing that.
Yeah,
shirt.
no, I know that happens every time.
You gotta meet
hilarious.
all the way.
Yeah. But if you're
Yeah.
if you're self-talking yourself
Right.
into, okay, now I'm this age, and that because I'm this age now I'm an older woman. I'm
Yeah.
old, and like I love my age. I'm 52. I love it. I feel good. I'm happy. Blah blah blah.
But you hear people in their 20s saying it.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
And by the time they're
absolutely.
30s, they're whooped.
Yeah,
You gotta understand, you
or
gotta
you're
understand.
scared to turn 50, or you
Yeah.
see this number as some sort of death sentence or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, there are plenty of people in this world who really are suffering, like with their physical health and have all kinds of stuff. And you're a perfectly healthy person sitting up here talking
Wanting
about,
it.
I'm about to go downhill. Oh, if you are going to
But
go
think of-
downhill, if you say that.
But think about their reality, though. So many people in our community, you're only living to like your mid 60s, maybe 70s. So in their mind, it's like, man, I'm at the back end
Right.
of this experience. Why? Because that's the reality of their environment. So they feel disempowered. They feel like I'm about to check out.
I'm gonna tell you a perfect.
I'm about to have
example.
diabetes. I'm about to have heart disease.
When I compete, I usually compete against guys in their 20s and 30s because there's not enough older people in my
Category.
Yeah.
to do it. So the pro cards that I won were all against open. If it was in the open, so it's all against younger people, right?
Damn.
So I started talking to people. I had this vegan tattoo right here. And I started talking to people backstage, these young kids, younger than my son. A lot of them, and they say, how do you do it? And I was like, check this out. And I started talking to them, and not to talk about anybody, but I said, because I'm their father's age. I was like,
Yeah, sure.
I'll be like, well, what is your father? How's your father's?
Yeah.
What does he look like? And
Yeah.
it blows their mind, just like you're my dad's age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And you're beating me on the stage.
Yeah.
You're my dad's age. They're picturing their dad at home.
Yeah.
And they're
Sitting
picturing-
back,
Right. And they're
old and
and it kind of puts things in perspective. It's
Yeah.
like you don't have to allow
Do
yourself
not.
to get there.
No.
You can do this forever. There's bodybuilders out there 70 years old, 80 years old.
Yeah.
Ernestine Shepherd, she's
Yeah.
dang near 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she out there still
Doing her
motivating
thing.
people
Right.
and inspiring people.
Yeah.
Like her clients are younger, but they're in their 70s and 80s
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I say this a lot. You've heard me say this many times. It's about making choices.
Yeah.
You know, and I, because I am kind of like, you know, super soft mental health girl, whatever. I know that it's a journey. I know that it is not easy.
too. Oh, I got something for you about the choices too.
Yes.
I got something about
But
the
we
choices.
have to
Is it-
start somewhere, because especially as women, and I'm talking to my sisters out there,
Uh-huh.
as women, we're teaching the next generation, and they're going to teach the next generation. And so, what do you want your legacy to be? You know, as far
Breaking
as
the cycle.
like, yeah,
Yeah, I was talking
absolutely.
about some people that weren't vegans, older dudes in the coffee shop today, and they didn't know anything. They always see me, but they didn't know anything about me. And I talked to them, and I just started opening up a little bit to them, and they're just looking at me with their eyes wide open. I'm like, oh yeah, I used to have a different life, but this is what happened. And I just started breaking things down to them, right? And I've told them about meditation and the transformative value that it has,
Yeah.
but what people don't understand is we have something in our brains called gray matter. Going back to your decision making thing, this
Yeah.
gray matter is responsible. This is huge for emotion, your emotional state, and we're a very emotional people, and we react to emotional situations, right? But gray matter is also responsible for decision making. Huge. We're here right now because of the decisions we made. Like you said, it's that important, right? So if you can grow gray matter in your brain just from sitting down and being still, you're gonna make better decisions. Your life is nothing but a bag full of decisions. Everything you do is one decision after the other. The reason why you're in the state that you are in,
Yep.
good or bad, is because of decisions that you made.
Yeah.
Now, if you can do something that changes your decision making and your emotional state just simply by sitting, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, well, one reason that you wouldn't do that is because you're not educated about it.
Well, this is
You
what
know,
it's all
and
about.
that's
right?
exactly why we do this,
Yes.
because we need people to. I want people to know that, you know, your choices matter, and that when it comes to things like meditation, I mean, meditation's been around for a bazillion years for a reason. It's because it works. It's because, you know, there's nothing wrong or shameful or anything like that about sitting with yourself and letting your body and your mind
You know what the
do
best?
what it's gonna do.
You know
Yeah.
what the best part of meditation is? It's free.
It is free.
But
You
so
just sit
valuable.
there- yeah,
Yes, that's
you know what I'm saying?
that's the
It's free. You
nicest
could
free
just-
gift that you can give
And
yourself.
let's
sit
let
down,
other
you know-
people understand
you know what
too,
I'm saying?
though.
It costs too much to be healthy.
Yeah, but listen, it doesn't have to be a formal. I'm a yogi.
No.
Sitting. It doesn't have to. You could be sitting in your car. You could be
Yeah.
go out to the woods and just disconnect. Get
Uh-huh.
rid of your phone. Just be present. You will see stuff you never seen in your life before if you just get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to that present state and just be. That's all
And
you
people
gotta
are
do.
doing it. A lot of people are doing it and don't know that's what they're doing. Sometimes zoning out, that's a negative connotation. You know, sometimes zoning out is your way of just emptying your mind. That's what my kid said. I barged in on him one day in his room, and he's sitting there, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Emptying my mind." You know, and so sometimes you instinctively know. Don't fight your own instincts.
Yeah.
You instinctively know what you need, and so if you're taking a moment, you know, just go with that, because your body and your mind knows what you need. That is your source. That is your God telling you what to do. You know.
So I help coach people with stuff like, you know, meditation and like life coaching type things. And I have this thing I give to them. It's called 4x5, right? So 4 times out of the day, even if they don't meditate, just if you can, if your job allows it or whatever, go sit somewhere, anywhere for 5 minutes and just get present.
Man,
And break
you
it
got-
up.
You got 2 piss breaks, 2
Right,
15-minute breaks, a lunch break.
So break it up throughout
You
your
got-
day,
yeah.
and it's gonna keep you in the present moment. There's not
Yeah.
a big lapse of you just running off here
Uh-huh.
and not coming back. So you go to work for a few hours, then you get out, you reset, go back to work, come back, reset.
Yeah.
Go back
I
to
did
work.
it. I had a cubicle. I had a cubicle. I had a yoga mat in my cubicle. You don't need any of that. I could have just sat on the floor. My coworker that sat across from me, she'd be like, Kenya, I need to meditate. I need a meditation break. And we would sit on the floor right there in our cubicles. Sometimes I'd put on the Mindspace app because I know that has a 10-minute guided meditation or whatever. Because being a social worker in CPS is very hard and very mentally draining. And very stressful and traumatic, right? And so just even if it was 5 minutes, I don't care what you do for your health. It's even like exercise. I was telling Kat recently, I don't care if you exercise or stretch or something like that for 5 minutes. At least you are doing something that is, in my opinion, elongating your life,
Exactly.
you know, helping your
You're investing
mental
in
state,
yourself.
helping you on a cellular level. I mean,
And the
yeah.
4x5, it equals what? 20 minutes. 20 minutes of being present
Yeah.
throughout your day. Most people are
Life-changing.
not present at all.
And that's life changing.
From the minute you get up, you're like, what I gotta do? Let me hurry up and get ready.
Yeah.
Your whole day is
You don't even have to be getting up. You can be you can be checking your phone from your bed. You don't
Yeah.
even have to be up. You know, or having my other cousin. Y'all have a lot of cousins. My other cousin has an iPhone watch or Apple Watch or whatever.
They always like
you,
this.
every
Message,
like
message,
yo,
message.
come on, you know. So anyway,
So, guys, it looks
Yeah,
like
my meter about to run out.
we could go on and on and on. Yeah,
it might be. We might have an episode 2.
I think we should.
that would be so
On
good.
this
I would
one.
love that because this is a major favorite topic of mine.
It's huge. But for now, I think we're gonna have to cut this one short. Not short, but
Right,
we
right.
we gave the audience what they
Yeah.
need to hear today. Where are some places they can find you if they want to get more information?
Okay, on Facebook, I'm Vegan Monk, and on Instagram, it's monk_eternal.
We gotta talk about that. What made you change your?
Ooh.
Because I changed it because I had vegan in my last name, and sometimes people see that and they think something different. So I'm about love across the board. Veganism to me is love unconditionally for all beings and all people,
Yeah.
whether they like me or not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yes,
saying? Whether
yeah.
I see them or not. So to get the people that won't click on my thing because it says vegan,
Interesting.
I put monk_eternal.
Oh, I love that.
Right? So now when they click on there, they might be able to see a different version of veganism that they had preconceived.
Right.
Right? So a lot of people say veganism is this, this, and this,
Yeah.
when to me it's love.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
That's why I changed.
Well, I want to know, especially from people that are going to see this on whatever platforms we're going to have this on, but if you're one of my Self-Care Sunday girls, I want to know if you want to see
Can I be a Self-Care Sunday?
Yes, you can. You can be a Self-Care Sunday girl or boy. He's a Self-Care Sunday guy. Let me know if you want to see another an episode 2 of this, because I know I do. I want to talk more with Monk, because this is my first time ever actually meeting him, even though I follow him on Instagram. So, yeah.
So, Ruby, let them know where they can find you.
Okay, so I'm at Ruby Envy on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and my website is rubyenvywellness.com.
And one quick plug for your book. When is it supposed to be
Yes.
released?
Oh, well, it's in the copyright stage.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
when it comes back, then it'll be on
So
all
this year?
platforms. Oh, yeah, it's a couple months.
Yay.
Okay.
I can't
So get ready for that. He's gonna be having his book come out, everybody. I'm your man, Cat Fitness. You can find me on IG at Cat Fitness 3, Facebook Cat Fitness, YouTube Cat Fitness. If you're watching this video on YouTube right now, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share, and notifications buttons, because every week we're going to be coming out with a new episode touching on these topics to empower you on your health journey, right? So you can take control. Nobody else. You have to take control of your own health, because that's where it starts, within yourself, right? So we appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Peace out. There it is.
Awesome sauce.
Boom.
Thank you so much.